force who owned this mountain reserve, and thus everyone in it, she must distinguish the crime of poaching from a permitted scavenge. These people would not have dared poach one of the deer, so many of which were tagged. If they took such a risk, it was only ever for smaller game, less likely to be missed. But they knew she must check anyway. One of the men, young and corded with muscles and hostility, pushed his way into the garden.
"The tag?"
he said, and laughed. At the harsh sound, one of the cows lifted its head, bells singing quietly, and the old woman murmured something Lina didn't catch, his name, perhaps. "May I?" Lina said. It was the wrong thing to say, she realized immediately, the request too glaringly empty.
"Will you collect them from us, too, when we die? It is not enough that your cameras watch us, but you must track us as well, make us animals?"
He gestured at the hanging deer, the cavity of its emptied body like an eye and an accusation. Given the timing, Tiago had offered to run this errand in Lina's place, and Lina had said no. Yet now she was hyper-aware of her own body, as tall as the men, but without their solidity. Faster, perhaps, not stronger. She had a knife in her bag for dissecting out the tag, but the thought of it skimmed over her mind without traction. "I know," she said gently. "It must feel that way. An insult and an invasion." The other men shifted, but she was watching this one, young enough to still think he could change things. Perhaps he could, she thought. But not like this, and neither could she. "I am sorry," she said. "I cannot." The defense she had been about to give died in her throat, and she sighed. "I am sorry." The old woman spoke again.
"Let it go, Kolev. Let it go now."
Lina looked at her sharply, thinking that the suggestion in her now had been instead for now.
"And if she says it was poached to justify this new law?"
It was one of the men beside the patient cows, beside the young woman with her head still averted. He spoke as if to no one, voicing a thought aloud. The young man stared at him and then spun back to Lina. "I would not." She raised her hands. "If it was gathered, then that is what I will tell them. I want this no more than you. You know that." They didn't, though. She could see that. ESF's new law had obviously made them doubt her. After all, they only knew her as a foreigner scientist come to study their mountains. Isolated from the politics of nation-states, perhaps, but still belonging to ESF, who were, on their protected lands and in their own way, totalitarian. She met Kolev's eyes and wanted to say to him, "I understand. And if I were you, I'd fight too." But of course she didn't. "I carry an ESF tag as well," she said instead. "It is nothing like these," gesturing at the silent carcass. "Just location and life, that is all it does." His fists tight against his thighs like he was holding them there through sheer will. Kolev opened his mouth. The knife came to Lina's mind again as his brown muscles moved, and she wished now that Tiago had come. But the young woman spoke over Kolev, resting a hand lightly on the shoulder of one of the cows. "But that is for your safety, Doctor. And can you say this is also why they wish to tag us?" She tilted.